Now I'm going to introduce Richard Naster, who is going to do a tribute to Jade Koornstra.
Up you go.
Wow, I've seen about 3 people look at these lights and stand. And I fully understand. Jesus, they're terrible. I've been told it'd be a lecture because I thought like half a book. But I'm going to try to get through this book. I'm honored yet deeply saddened to have to speak at this celebration of Jay's life. He was a treasured friend, ally, and I'm glad to say a co-conspirator. The last time we spoke, I was certain we had plenty of time to catch up. I believe we all felt that way. Thank you so much. Seize the day, friends. Carpe diem. Time is horribly short. Hunter S. Thompson wrote, "Life should not be a journey to the grave with the intention of arriving safely in a pretty and well-preserved body, but rather to skid in broadside in a cloud of smoke, thoroughly used, totally worn out, and loudly proclaiming, 'Wow, what a ride.'" So it was for Jay. On July 19th, Richard Cliff posted the following. "Good afternoon, Facebook land. This will be surprising to many, but not to all. Jay Koornstra passed away this afternoon, around 1 p.m. at the General Hospital. He'd been in the hospital for a couple of weeks with increasing liver trouble and a badly placed blood clot wreaking havoc on his body. After a week of trying blood thinners and other things, Jay decided to invoke palliative care. He was in very positive spirits about that choice. He'd simply had enough. Having witnessed and participated in that conversation, I can say it's helped me immensely in the past week because he was so clear and positive about his decision. Please let it help you too. He was his joking, impish self right to the end and handled this part of his journey like the champ he was. Please help spread the word. I know he was so dear to so many, and I'd like them all to hear the news. Hug your friends, hug your loved ones, spread that love everywhere." In 1981, Jay met Larry, the love of his life. In '83, Jay tested positive for HIV. He was in his 20s and never imagined he'd live nearly another 40 years. Back then, almost no one lived that long with HIV. In the 80s and 90s, he lived with friends and family in Crystal Beach, Ontario. You can see them all in the beautiful film, Laugh in the Dark. In '96, Larry passed away. Jay never really recovered. In the '90s, he was a member of AIDS Action Now in Toronto. In 2000, he became the executive director of Bruce House. Ottawa never really recovered. I recall the day we met interviewing him for the ED position at Bruce House. We dug him immediately. It was that voice and charm as much as the skills he brought to the table. It was the start of a wonderful 20-year relationship for us. In February of this year, Jay posted on Facebook, "I have a healthy distrust of authority." We knew that from the start. Shortly after moving to Ottawa, the Bytown Theatre set up a fundraiser for Bruce House. It was a Sound of Music sing-along with a prize to the best costume. Some people remember that. There were many boys in lederhosen and none hats, but only one goat. Of course, one of them. We were all very proud of our new director. He loved costumes and grease paint and song. He was the sort of boss we all wish we had. Supportive in both best of times and, more importantly, in the worst of times. He was most private, but genuine and awfully human. He was often ill-dressed, unshaven, and in need of a haircut, but he cleaned up real good. He was a rebel disguised as an administrator. Although he had a good-sized office at Bruce House, he rarely held a meeting. Chairs and cabinets were stacked overflowing with books and reports and funding applications and post-it notes and lunch go boxes and condiments and cigarettes. More than once they came raining down on his head. He claimed there was an order to it. In 2005, he was nominated for the Ontario AIDS Network Honor Roll. In 2006, he protested Stephen Harper's AIDS policies at the International AIDS Conference in Toronto. In 2012, he received the Queen Elizabeth II Diamond Jubilee Medal. He loved that tchotchke. In 2013, he was the Grand Marshal of the Capitol Pride Parade. He had that purple sash. Yeah, he loved that tchotchke too. In 2014, he quit smoking. Perhaps his single greatest accomplishment. Because I can tell you, that man loves smoking. In 2018, he was included in the Village Legacy Project. You can visit his likeness on Bank Street anytime you wish. At one time, he was on the board of the Positive Leadership Institute that trained PHAs to become leaders and advocates. He loved the Ottawa Gay Men's Chorus. He adored the songs and the camaraderie. He performed in a recent production of Mice and Men. I can only imagine how scared he was getting up and doing that. He co-chaired SITE, the nascent Ottawa Needle Exchange Project. He was a member of the Canadian Public Policy Network. In 2021, he told the story of Larry's jacket at the Port Collective's Stories Beyond Status. Jay was a truly devoted advocate for the underdog, the dispossessed, ever putting his queer shoulder to the wheel for those living in poverty, homelessness, addicted to substances, those living with HIV, and of course, his beloved LGBTQ community. He fully recognized his own privilege and gave endlessly of his capacities and qualities. As I considered what I might say tonight, I browsed Jay's Facebook page and found hundreds of your gorgeous tributes. I read of his warmth, generosity, kindness, compassion, commitment, intelligence, wisdom, bodiness, and loyalty. It is rare and wonderful that anyone be remembered in such glowing terms. He was truly a profoundly loved man. Amidst the tributes on Facebook, two really stood out for me. I thank the writers for allowing me to share their thoughts. The first was from Sveta Kanan-Vigno, who wrote, "It's taken me a moment to gather my thoughts and say a few words here about this most kind, incredible, humble friend we lost last week. A huge, strong tree has fallen. I met Jay in 2002 when I was looking for work with AIDS, HIV organizations in Ottawa when I moved there. I vividly remember him saying, 'I can't pay for your support, but this cannot be goodbye. You came looking for us.' These words started a beautiful friendship. I spent 6 years on the board of Bruce House and became very close with Jay and many others who I carry in my heart always. I am choked up with tears thinking about Jay. What a phenomenal human being. His eternal wisdom, undying enthusiasm, optimism, and passion for fighting for the causes he believed in. As a survivor, he never expected any handouts or favors. He marched forward and brought the world with him. There are few people we meet in our lives that leave us feeling happier for having spent time just knowing them and being around them. Jay was one of this kind. I wish I could have met him more recently. I will come to see you on Bank Street when I am in Ottawa. Forever in my heart, rest well until we meet again." The next tribute is by Denny Schreiber. The longer I'm up here, the harder it is to read this. Denny wrote, "There are no words to describe how heartbroken I am on the passing of my good friend, Jay Koornstra. He was an amazing activist, community leader, and a mentor. More importantly, he was an incredible human being and a friend. He was always ready to fight the good fight on the causes or injustices that were close to his heart. He was always there for a friend, including myself, and more often than not, help out a total stranger in need without any hesitation." He continues, "Jay, I will greatly miss having you in my life. Know this, our friendship will remain eternal. My most sincere condolences to Jay's families, those he was born into, and those he has chosen. And to all those who knew or were close to Jay, big hugs. Jay, we wish you peace. We miss you like anything and love you like crazy. If there's a heaven, you and Richard will certainly be there, embraced by those you love. We know." I'm going to take a break. We know that this world and our lives are better for you having been it.
Yeah.
Jay, Richard, May your memories be a blessing to us all.